Do you feel like you're eating healthy, but your weight isn't changing? And you're choosing better foods, you're making more effort, and you're definitely being more disciplined. But nothing seems to be moving with the scales. And it can be very frustrating. But because you feel like you're doing everything right, but nothing's changing. Here's the truth: eating healthy and losing fat are not the same thing. And this is a huge misunderstanding and what keeps a lot of people stuck. Welcome back. If you're new here, I help people build results that actually last without extremes or constantly starting over. And one of the biggest misconceptions I see is people thinking that because they eat healthy, or this automatically leads to fat loss, and it just doesn't. So today I'm going to break down exactly why, and more importantly, what actually works. The first thing we need to understand is that healthy food is important, but fat loss is driven by something specific. Fat loss comes from a calorie deficit. Now, this just isn't food quantity, but let me explain it. So, you can eat whole foods, nutritious meals with balanced ingredients, but if you're still eating more energy than your body uses, your weight won't drop. So if your calories are higher than your maintenance calories, your weight is going to go up. And if your calories are lower than the amount you burn, your weight will go down. Now, healthy food is still calories, and those calories still count. But this is where it gets interesting. Most people aren't overeating on crap, junk food. They're overeating on healthy food because they almost feel like it's free. So, for example, nut butters, oils, granolas, smoothies, healthy things in large portions. Now, again, these things aren't bad for you. They're just calorie dense, which means the amount you eat will add up quickly. And you can eat clean and whole foods, and but you can still be in a calorie surplus. So I've worked with so many people who say, look, I just don't understand. I'm eating really healthy. But when we actually look at it and break it down, we realize they're also adding oils in, having huge portions, snacking more than they realize. And this is the key. It's not about being healthy. It's about awareness of what's going in. So if we have two meals, for example, and one's high calorie and the other is balanced and controlled, both look good, but one supports fat loss than the other, just because based on the calorie value, so the amount of energy it has. Another big issue is the idea of clean eating. People will think, well, if I eat clean, I'm going to lose weight. So this isn't how it works. And what it does do by thinking like this, it ruins flexibility, it ruins enjoyment and maintainability. So we become really restrictive, and then our cravings build, and then we overeat. And things like avoiding everything that is not healthy, that it leads to extreme restriction and actually leads to the opposite result than we're trying to achieve. So what do we do instead? We need to understand calories. You don't need to obsess. You just need to be accountable and have awareness of, how many you're having a day and what you're expending. You need to have whole balanced meals. So things that, again, we did a talk on hunger recently. Meals that satiate you, really important. Portions, even healthy food. The amount of people I've seen do keto and stuff like that, and then to lose weight, and then they're not losing because all they're eating is fats, which are really calorie dense. They get annoyed because they aren't achieving the results they want. So watch your portions and make sure you're staying within your calories. Allow flexibility. You need to include the food you enjoy, the meals you enjoy, and you will still make progress and probably stick to it a lot longer too. And again, fat loss isn't perfect. It's just being consistent, doing this the way that works for you. So focus on balanced meals, controlled portions, consistent habits, and you're going to make way more progress with a lot less stress. Now, if you feel like you're eating healthy but not seeing results, don't just dig in and work harder. Be smarter. Be honest with yourself. Are you aware of how many calories you're having, or is it you just going off food choices and eating healthy? If this hits home, drop the word awareness, if we can spell it, in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want help building a plan that actually works for real life, make sure you subscribe, because that's exactly what this channel is here to do. Because eating healthily is so important, but understanding how it fits into your goals, this is where we get results.